Manga Shake here with another game featuring a German medium. I know, surprise, surprise. But here I am in the Vk3002m, which is one of my absolute favorite tanks in the game. And of course, that's not a surprise with it being the Panther prototype. It has kind of the same playstyle, only you can be a little more aggressive with it almost being a Panther, but a tier lower. Now, the frontal armor is actually quite good, mobility's quite good. The only thing is, of course, it doesn't have access to that mostly fictional 7.5 L100. Instead, it gets the actual historical 7.5 cannon that the Panther actually fielded, and that's still very, very good. Of course, it's the same gun that the E25 and the Stug and other mid-tier German tanks and tank destroyers all feature. But here on the Paris map, this position I've taken, as you see, I drove over to the base of this kind of curve, and I've knocked the trees over in a line. Now the VK does not have the greatest concealment factor, but with the trees knocked down, positioning myself in them, I will have the first spot capability. And I do run binoculars on this, along with vents and a gun rammer. And as you see, as soon as the binoculars activate, I have maxed out view range. So again, anybody crossing these roads, I will be able to spot them. Now, in a smaller or faster vehicle, I would actually go up and knock over the third tree. And if you're stealthy enough, like say, something like our A20 or the EBR Hotchkiss or the Setter or the Leopard, which they're not just duplicating the spotting, because rule of thumb with light tanks is you don't want two light tanks in the same map area. There's no point in that. But they're not just duplicating, they were quadrupling the spotting areas. The A20 he's fine. He's in a spot that is actually a pretty good position, but the Thunderbolt is pushing him as well as the Leopard. And the A20 doesn't have any sort of firepower now that it's been bumped up to tier 5. And this is a tier 7 battle, so he's bottom tier. I'm just mid tier, but honestly, the VK is so underrated. It's actually a very, very strong vehicle in a tier 7 game. I put it as one of the best tier 6 mediums. It has certainly better armor and better gun than the Cromwell. It's pretty fast in a straight line. It's just lacking the agility. Now here comes the Thunderbolt. One of the most notorious premium spamming tanks in the game. And as you notice, I am aiming for the weak spot rather than immediately going for premium ammo. Which, for those of you who don't know, the additional armor does not cover the whole machine gun. Now, since he's shooting it at me so much, I decided just to load it and deal with him. I loaded a bit of APCR, and that puts the penetration of the VK at almost tier 8 levels, with having almost 200 pen on the APCR. So the Thunderbolt wasn't going to survive that. But if you don't know, if you see a Thunderbolt at the whole machine gun, it's just standard E8 armor. And that's only 63 millimeters slanted back, and your typical mid-tier medium tank gun can punch through that easily. The turret has some of the additional welded armor and bolted armor, but it's a little less reliable, but you can still punch through there as well. But you have to avoid the gun manlet, and you have to avoid the additional armor. So I just go for the machine gun port. It's pretty easy to hit. I was hitting it, I think I hit it about 3 out of 5 times. But dealing with now the Thunderbolt's gone, the Leopard's gone, the middle is now clear enough that the slowest vehicle on our team is able to get over there. You know, the Valiant's taking a beating to do it, but I'm going to try to take a little pressure off of him by moving up. Because if he can get up there, he actually has a very tough turret. And if I can take a little bit of pressure by moving down these roads, I'm also looking to see, do I get spotted? Because if I was on the enemy team, I would actually be sitting, let's say, a tank destroyer, or maybe an ELC. You know, there's an unspotted Stug, and if I was in that Stug, I'd be sitting right at the D and E8 area. You know, D8, E8. There's a lot of concealment you can knock over right there, and you actually have direct line of vision down to the central plaza, and I didn't get spotted. I'm sitting here in the open. If there was somebody there, I would be spotted. So I know there's not. And now I'm just looking to see if I can put a little crossfire on these enemies to the southeast. I really thought the Skoda was going to push up to that corner again, but obviously he's just backed off, which will allow me to continue flanking around. Now again, I thought I was going to get spotted definitely moving around, so I hurried up and got over here, knocked the tree over for concealment. And even on a city map, if there's trees, knock them over, because every opportunity you have to be the one to get the first spot or the first shot just helps you. Now I actually find a slowly escaping LEF. Now I don't stick with him, even though I could have killed him, because I see their ELC got spotted, and I'm going to take the advantage to get rid of the more dangerous enemy. Now, as the title says, there's some ramming for ace here. This little ELC, he waits way too long to realize that I'm coming for him. And the VK, when it's moving at over 50, I don't even feel the ELC. Didn't even slow down, just kept going. And going to motor around, but hey, the other LAF gets spotted. And I was hoping to get a shot in, because I realized at this point, I'm sitting on 5 kills. Now, I've had a very good game right now. I don't believe I had any blind shots for anything, so just under 2,000 damage, 5 kills. It'd be nice to snag a top gun. Now, of course, I remember I left the other LEF one-shottable. So, let's see if we can't spot him. And there's the top gun secured. Now all I can do is, it'd be a nice little cherry on top to break 2,000 damage maybe. So now I am motoring forward, hoping to see if I can't at least get 1 or 2 more shots in. It's obviously a win. I have plenty of health. Let me just move forward. Now, that leopard just got tracked and then killed. So the Skoda is either reloading or he has 1 shot left. So 1 shot left, 2 shots. So he actually reloaded pretty quick. And then it leaves the single shot Type 58, who tries to go for the Valiant, but instead the Valiant gets him. So it finishes out with a over 2,100 damage game with 7 kills. And coming back to the results, of course, that was an ace with a bruiser, duelist, fire for effect, a steel wall, which you will actually get in the VK fairly often. High caliber and Top Gun round out the awards. And I was by almost 1,000 damage, the highest score on my team, with almost double the base experience over my next closest teammate. And that's a very solid showing of what the VK can do. But I hope you enjoyed the game, and thanks for watching.